So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 17 versus the 17 Pro Max speed test. Let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, I just can't believe I haven't done this test yet already. We do have the regular A19 on the left, and we're going to be going up against the A19 Pro chip in this video. Kind of want to see, does the base stack up in actual real world performance to the iPhone 17 Pro Max and in synthetic benchmarks as well. So right away, my 17 did boot up first. I will have you know though that I do have more content loaded up on here on the 17 Pro Max. I have probably more apps and stuff, so that could have been playing into it, but the iPhone 17 turned on first, so we're going to give it to that one. So when it comes to unlocking these phones, we do have the same exact Face ID sensors, so they do unlock exactly the same. So there's no actual speed increase, and while they both do have camera control buttons, there's no Touch ID sensors housed on those buttons, so you're getting in at the same exact speed. Now, one of the nice things about the base 17 is they finally made the phone actually feel the same smooth 120 hertz as the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So at first glance, you're going to feel like it's the exact same performance because of that ProMotion kind of navigating is actually the same. But when we take a closer look here, you're going to see a couple different things. The iPhone 17 does have 4 gigabytes RAM less. They also have the A19 versus A19 Pro, but something you should note is that they both do have the same clock speed at 4.26 gigahertz. But when you are navigating a phone, there is zero difference between them. You won't actually feel anything different. Even animations look exactly the same. So having that A19 Pro doesn't help you much in just daily operations for getting the Max. So you could save money if you want kind of like the same feel day to day and go with the 17. All right, guys, so everything is closed out for both phones right here, and we do have the same applications lined up on both. Let's go ahead and head into calendar. And the iPhone 17 Pro Max looked a little bit better there. We'll go into clock, and that's exactly the same. We're just going to kind of go through these right here to see how those look. And of course, in base apps, we shouldn't see any difference whatsoever. So we'll just kind of fly through these, and we'll go into App Store on both. And I think the 17 Pro Max was slightly ahead. Nothing really noticeable though. So pretty much the same there. We'll go into weather on both, and you can see that was first there, I think slightly on the right. We'll go into Grok, exactly the same launch there. And if these do in fact have the same exact performance, that was first on the right. In daily use, I wouldn't be shocked, but I do want to see if that A19 Pro does make any difference because I really like the base model 17. I've been praising it quite some time, and that seemed to open first there on the right. We'll go to my latest post here. Silver or cosmic orange, which do you prefer when it comes to the 17 Pro series? Let's go into not Siri, 17 Pro series. Let's go into X on both, and you could see that was first there on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, so maybe it has faster connectivity. We'll go into Groupon, and you could see first there on the left. We'll go to categories here, scrolling down, pretty much the same. So what I'm seeing so far is that you're getting near pro performance, or at least pro feeling performance on the base 17. That makes it such a great deal. Let's go into, but let's see if it changes in the gaming row now. Let's go into Subway Surfers on both, and you'll find 17 Pro Max slightly ahead, maybe some microseconds, nothing substantial. And we'll go over here, we'll go into Dead Trigger 2, and we'll see what happens here. Exactly the same launch there. Looking pretty good here for base 17. Again, if it does in fact keep performing on the same level, that's only good news for you. Let's go into RTS. Good news for you in that if you buy this phone, you saved yourself some money and you got basically the same thing. So let's go over here and go to Race the Sun, and that's going to be exactly the same. Let's swipe up out of there. And I hope this video is showing you why a lot of people love the base 17 this year, why you see a lot of praise for it, because the phone is nearly like a pro phone now in terms of daily performance. You can see right there that the iPhone 17 Pro Max actually launched at first, this kind of bypassed the home screen. And now it's kind of like mixing up here because they were on the same account. Let's go into Call of Duty. So we might have that issue on a couple other games, but we'll see which one can get here first. And looks like they're kind of loading at the same clip here. 17 Pro Max a little bit ahead there. You've seen it just by a little bit. The load bar was a bit ahead. Now, this one was probably logged in, so we're going to have that same issue where this one doesn't let me log in unless I sign out on this one. Yeah, that's what's happening right here. But you've seen that the 17 Pro Max actually had it loaded first because it was waiting for this one to respond. So I'm giving it to the 17 Pro Max. I think when we start getting into games, the A19 Pro will pull ahead a bit. But where it really pulls ahead again is in thermals. The thermal efficiency of the 17 Pro Max is noticeable over the base 17, especially in an extended gaming session. You'll probably have a better sustained performance. You'll see right here, the 17 Pro Max just a microsecond ahead, nothing substantial, but those microseconds can add up to still a little bit of a faster phone. So if you are looking for max power, I think the gaming row is starting to show a little bit why the Max is the way to go. We'll head up out of there. We'll go into news on both. And you'll see the Max a little bit ahead. And we'll go to Geekbench 6. Pretty much the same. InShot. Pretty much the same. And we'll go into Speed Test Net. Faster on the right. So I do think more of them launched first on the right. It could be my finger. I don't know. It could also be that the Max just has a little bit of a faster CPU, same clock speed. So they're essentially equal, but I think the Max pulls ahead in heavy games. That's it. That's all I've seen here. Really good stuff though for the iPhone 17. I can't believe I haven't done this already, but really good stuff there for that phone on the left. But can it sustain that in the RAM management? All these applications is it going to hold all of them? That's what I wait to see on the 8 gig of RAM iPhone 17. And so far, so good. Again, a little bit of we'll see if the iPhone does the same thing. We do have a little bit of like when they're refreshing the feeds, I'm not sure those are actual reloads, but if we kind of go through these, refreshing the weather, but let's see if the iPhone 17 Pro Max does the same exact thing. That is pretty phenomenal right there. For the RAM management, it didn't seem to have anything substantial to speak of. I expected one or two to maybe close out just because we have a lot of apps open here, and it isn't 12 gigs of RAM, but we'll see if this one does even better. I can tell you it does feel a little bit smoother. We'll go over here and we'll see if the Max does anything different. So X did that same thing, refreshing the feed, same thing on Instagram. We'll go into Gemini and we'll go into Grok. Weather didn't refresh. So yeah, as more applications get open, it's probably going to need a lot more than this to be open and things to be running. But the 12 gigs of RAM will pull ahead under heavy use. But like you've seen all those applications open. I mean, how many more are you going to have open at once? I mean, I don't think the 8 gigs is going to slow you down whatsoever. I really think the 120 Hertz is what made the real difference this year based on this video. And taking a look at their Geekbench 6 scores, you can see that the iPhone 17 just a hair behind at 3609 versus 3806. In the multi-core, pulls a little bit ahead on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So you do win out here, but it wasn't by a substantial margin. I think that single core is telling us why we've seen such a tight race there in the app test and the RAM management. So it's really not much to speak of, even there in Geekbench. Let's see how the 3D Mark stacks up. I'll be back with these scores in a minute. And here is the overall score for the iPhone 17 on Wildlife Extreme, 4703, 28 FPS. That is scoring better than 86% of devices out there. So not the fastest device out there, but you'll see a pretty nice score, and this is going to game very well with that frame rate. But this is where the iPhone pulls quite a bit ahead here on the 17 Pro Max, 5709, 6 frame rates better, which means it's sustaining its performance a lot better, and scores better than 94% of devices out there. So 17 Pro Max with its thermal efficiency with the A19 Pro chip pulls ahead enough to make this definitely worthy of the pick for those of you actual gamers on your phone. So if you're actually pushing it hard, you actually will benefit from getting a 17 Pro Max over a base 17, but you really have to do that. If you don't, you really aren't getting any gains. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do a quick Wi-Fi speed test. We'll see which one can pull ahead here. Now, they should have pretty similar specifications, so I don't expect them to be too much different, but we'll just see what happens here. I just do these tests at the end for fun. We'll just see if any changes do occur. I doubt it. 17 Pro Max, I would say might do a bit better on the download, but we'll see what happens. So it actually looks like the iPhone 17 was freezing up there for a second. So 328 down, and then on the upload we're looking around 41 or so. I don't got the fastest internet in the world, but it is what it is right now. Let's go ahead and click on the iPhone 17 Pro Max right here, and we'll just see what happens here. I'm pulling in around the same thing, slightly better. So pulling a little bit better on the download. Good 50, 40. So it's dropping a little bit. So 363. So slightly better. Looks like it's about the same again on the upload. Might finish a little bit less. So see, there's not a big difference here. So in the actual Wi-Fi performance, they should pull in about the same thing. Similar as well on 5G. I will say for speakerphone calls though, the iPhone 17 Pro Max has a better speaker, so it will be louder when making those calls and hearing on the other end. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for me. I think we have a conclusion. The Apple A19 is so good that it makes me question, do you even need an Apple A19 Pro chip? The answer is, if you're doing heavy gaming, like actual graphically demanding gaming, something like Destiny Rising, something like Call of Duty, and you're playing this for extended sessions, the phone's getting warmed up, 17 Pro Max is the better pick. It'll sustain its performance a little bit better, give you a better time, longer battery. Also, if you are doing video editing or rendering, you might get a little bit of a faster render, something like that. But other than that, I mean, the 17 can still do better performance than some previous Pros. So the 17 is a serious contender for one of the better iPhone picks to get right now, for sure, at least until the 18 series comes out. So yeah, this was a lot of information that I didn't expect. I didn't expect the 17 to be that close, but it really was. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.